Um, Today, we are thanking God for the court ruling today that has agreed with us in the petition declaring that the appointment of the Hustler board members has not followed the law and procedure. We had made submission that first and foremost, the appointment was not in compliance with what is called the rule of justice and fairness, because there was no hearing, there was no public participation, there was no application, there was no vetting, there was no involvement of people with disability, no chance was given to the youth. We also had to look at the manifesto of the president and discover that the president had declared that he was going to form a government of Boda Boda and Mama Mboga, and Mama Mboga and Boda Boda can be given a chance only if you ensure that you offer competitive hiring. They should be competitive by asking for applications, asking for vetting, and also ensuring that you do inclusion. So we had stated that the rights of people with disability has been trampled upon. The court today has done the ruling by declaring that the boards which were appointed by the president should not be sworn in. So there is no swearing in of those board members. Secondly, the court has declared that they cannot take oath of office. And thirdly, they have declared they cannot have assumption to office. So that is a vindication that justice is still supreme. Because without justice, there cannot be peace. Without justice cannot be peace, and without peace, there cannot be development in this country. And today, I've heard people said before, rumors, when we began this case, that the court cannot rule in our favor because there's a perception that the president has gone to bed with the judiciary, or if you like, with the court. And today, this ruling justifies that you can sleep with the court, but you cannot sleep with justice. It's also a declaration that Operation Ugatuzi today has given the first punch and knocked down Hustler Fund, knocked down the Hustler government with these, their outrageous ways of doing things which are against the law. And today, we want to urge among Kenyans to be cautious about this Hustler Fund, because the board which has been put in place to take office, the court declares that has been done without a procedure. We still urge Kenyans to continue taking the Hustler Fund, but should not pay until the government complies with what we call the legislative framework of this fund, at the same the operational fund. Like, the fund has not been appropriated by Parliament. We're also aware that there is no secretariat, there is no board in place because the board has declared that cannot take oath of office. The asking for PIN number is illegal according to private rules of the state, rights of privacy. At the same time, we don't know the source of funds, so this can be a way on which illicit funds can come into the Kenyan market. The fund, the fintech that is taking out this fund, this fintech has not been given competitive tendering process to do it. There is no reporting mechanism. There is no bank account where you are saving money because that has not been disclosed. There is no way you're doing your pension because NSSF number and NSSF accounts have not actually disclosed that the people taking Hustler Fund have NSSF number. And last but not least, that this fund is only on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok, and Instagram. Such an important fund cannot just be done that way. And lastly, we urge Parliament also to come in and question those authorities involved so that they can also explain to us why are they appropriating fund. Spending 25 billion before having a board in place is very outrageous. While the economy is suffering, cost of living is high, cost of fuel is high, cost of electricity is high. Why don't the president take this money and put in subsidies so that people's lives can be improved when they can access electricity at a cheaper cost? They can take kids to school and they can be able to travel with lower cost of fuel. The ruling was simply that the board set in place cannot take oath of office, cannot be sworn in, and cannot assume office. Meaning that Hustler Fund remains without a board. But since our past petition was that the Hustler Fund did not comply, and the president is trying to comply in the back door, it shows that the next ruling, we shall have the last laugh, because it means that the next ruling will state that the president was wrong in setting up the Hustler Fund in the first case.
As Professor said, we want to applaud the courts for making such a substantial ruling in favor of the people of Kenya. And the reason why I'm saying is this, that we have an administration in place that has to respect the rule of law. It has to respect the organs of governance, and therefore things have to be done systematically. In so saying, we have seen the Deputy President saying that they do not have any funds whatsoever to give to county governments. But they have funds to give to Kenyans through the Hustler Fund without a framework. So this government should be put to order. It should be called to order so that they follow the rule of law in everything they are doing. However beautiful a plan is, they must follow the rule of law. Thank you very much.
And please remember that Operation Linda Ugatuzi, which actually is Operation Linda Jamii, will not sleep until the rule of law is accounted for. In fact, our vision, the people say dreams are things you get when you're asleep, but for us, what is keeping us awake without sleeping is our dream. And we'll ensure that the rule of law is becoming our dream and becomes a reality. And thank you to the judges for keeping our dream alive.